Testosterone changes your voice, right? So why would a trans man need voice training? Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm a gender-affirming voice teacher. And today we're talking about transmasculine voices, testosterone, and why voice training can be just as important for trans men and transmascs as it is for trans feminine folks. There's this assumption that testosterone does all the work when it comes to masculinizing the voice. And in some ways, that's understandable. Testosterone does cause the vocal folds to thicken and can cause the pitch to drop.
Puberty has started!
Fight!
But that's only part of the picture. What a lot of people don't realize is that testosterone doesn't always deliver the vocal results you're expecting automatically. Some people experience a dramatic shift, others barely notice a change. Some end up with a voice that sounds different, but still feels uncomfortable, unstable, or even gets them misgendered.
People suck.
Tell me about it.
Many people on testosterone require voice training to learn to adapt to their new and changing instrument. And beyond that, there are so many other elements of the voice that T doesn't affect at all, like expressiveness, clarity, or projection. These are shaped by habits, by how you've learned to use your voice over time. And those habits don't shift on their own. Training is what helps you change those patterns, to use your voice differently, intentionally, and with more ease. So let's take a closer look at what testosterone actually does to your voice, physiologically. When a person starts taking testosterone, the most noticeable change is usually pitch. That's because testosterone causes the vocal folds to thicken and grow longer.
Whoa, puberty! Let's see what comes next.
This thickening lowers the fundamental frequency, which is the acoustic measure of pitch. And for many people, this results in a voice that sounds lower, sometimes significantly. But it's not just about the folds themselves. Testosterone can also lead to a lengthening of the vocal tract. That extra space in your throat and mouth shapes the sound of your voice, affecting resonance, which is what gives the voice that deeper, darker tone people often associate with masculinity. Some folks also notice bony changes over time. The jaw might widen, the face might change shape, and in some cases, a visible laryngeal prominence can appear. These changes aren't just cosmetic, they can affect how your voice sounds. Now, all of that sounds pretty straightforward, but the reality is, it's a process.
Process this!
In the early months, the voice is often unstable. You might lose access to your high notes, experience cracking or fatigue, and feel like your voice is clumsy. There can also be inflammation or swelling during the voice change process, especially in the earlier stages, which can make the voice sound hoarse, strained, or like you're constantly recovering from a cold. And even once those changes are complete, which can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years, you might still be adjusting to how it feels to use that voice. Because while testosterone changes the instrument, it doesn't teach you how to play it. So you've got this new instrument. Your pitch has dropped, maybe your resonance has darkened, and your voice sounds different. But it might not feel natural yet, or stable, or expressive in the ways you want it to be. That's incredibly common. A lot of transmasculine people reach this point and think, why does my voice still feel off? Or they notice it tires out quickly, they can't project, it still doesn't feel like them, or they're getting misgendered even after months or years on T. That's because physiological voice change doesn't automatically come with coordination, confidence, or comfort. Voice training helps you learn how to use your changed voice in ways that feel intentional, embodied, and expressive. That might mean improving resonance so it feels bigger, fuller, or more grounded. Improving clarity and projection so your voice carries without strain. Developing endurance, especially if your voice gets tired or hoarse easily. Or even retraining your speaking voice if old habits are pulling it too high or making it feel tense. It's also about reconnecting to your voice emotionally.
Wow. Can I have a hug?
Hey, don't touch me!
Hug.
Because for a lot of people, the voice is a big part of gender dysphoria or gender euphoria. And when your voice isn't matching how you feel inside, it can be really hard to feel confident or safe in the world. Training gives you tools, it gives you options, and most importantly, it gives you agency. Whether you're years into transition or just starting out, you can develop a voice that feels like yours. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, okay, but what if I'm not on testosterone? Maybe you're pre-T and exploring your options. Maybe you've decided that medical transition isn't for you. The good news is, voice training works even without hormones.
Woo! Win-win!
Your voice is a set of muscles and behaviors, and you can train it, just like you can train your posture, your breathing, or your singing. You don't need testosterone to sound more masculine. You just need tools, guidance, and practice. If you're just starting out and want an example of that change, try some exercises like Big Dog, Little Dog, or Key O. In fact, starting voice work before beginning testosterone can actually make the transition easier. You'll already have awareness of how your voice works, how to manage vocal strain, and how to build habits that support your goals. So when your voice does start to shift on T, you'll be better prepared to meet it with confidence instead of confusion.
Years of training finally paying off.
That's exactly why I created Masculinize Your Voice Without Testosterone. It's a course designed for transmasculine people who want to explore vocal change without hormones, or who are preparing for testosterone and want to build a strong foundation first. Whether you're pre-T, T-curious, or you know T isn't the right path for you, this course walks you through the same techniques I use with private clients. Resonance, pitch, inflection, all in a self-paced, accessible format. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. I realized while writing this video that I actually don't have a resource specifically for those who are seeking to adapt to their voice changes on T. But this has been on my course making to-do list for a while, so if it's something you'd like to see, please leave me a comment and let me know. I also highly recommend the work of Peter Fullerton and Eli Conley, who are amazing teachers who specialize in singing on testosterone and have so many great resources for folks on T. Lastly, I'll just say, whether you're not on T, just starting out, or years into transition, your voice deserves care, attention, and love. You don't have to settle for a voice that feels off, and you don't have to figure it out alone. If this video spoke to you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it. And if you're someone who's experienced surprises, good or bad, with voice changes on T, I would love to hear your stories in the comments. That's all for today. I've been Renee, and I hope this helps. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's because testosterone causes the vocal folds to thicken and grow longer.
Honka honka.
Okay, sorry I'm so whiny. I'm such a little bitch today. Rap?
Rap.
Yeah, baby. Ah. Oh, as I trip and break my nose on the ground.